Welcome back to Rise Again. This is your weekly dose of unstoppable motivation. Each week, we bring you the best mix of personal development, motivation, and entrepreneurship all in one place. So if you like what you see, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today's episode is extra special because we are sitting down with no one other than Lewis. How's Lewis is a former professional football player who didn't let his 6 feet 7 inches stature stop him from dominating the tight end position for the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. He was also one of the top 100 NFL players during his time in the league. However, when he was forced into early retirement due to injury, he decided to pursue his passion for acting, earning roles in some of your favorite movies and TV shows such as Bride Wars, The Game Plan with The Rock, Are We There Yet with Ice Cube, and many more. But there is much more to this amazing man than just football and acting. He is now a successful entrepreneur and a prominent being named one of the most influential podcasters in the world by both Apple Podcasts and as if all those things weren't enough, he has also authored 5 books, which include The Mask You Live In, which spent over 6 months on the New York Times bestseller list, then The Bulletproof Mind, which reached #1 on the Wall Street Journal bestseller list, and more recently he co-authored 2 books with his wife, one of which is the #1 Amazon bestseller, The Couples Code. His latest book is called The School of Greatness. In addition to being an accomplished author, he is also the founder and chairman of the School of Greatness, which is a global community that helps ambitious people unlock their potential and live extraordinary lives. Through his platform, he has interviewed over 200 world-class performers from various industries, including Malala Yousafzai, Quincy Jones, Kobe Bryant, Tim Grover, and more. He uses the lessons learned from these interviews to help others live better, more intentional lives. All this to say, Lewis is someone who truly embodies the spirit of the show. He has faced numerous obstacles throughout his life and career, and yet he has managed to overcome them all and achieve phenomenal success. That is why we are honored to have him here today. Hi, Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. It's always great to be here. So before we get into it, I want to ask our audience a question. What does greatness mean to you? Leave your answer in the comments below. Now, let's get started. All right, so to kick things off, your story is nothing short of extraordinary. Going from football to acting and then finding success as a podcaster and author is not an easy feat by any means. So, can you walk us through your journey so far and how each of those chapters has shaped who you are today? Well, it's funny. When I first retired from the NFL, I had every intention of pursuing a career in acting full time. I actually ended up in Los Angeles after retiring and got an agent and manager, did a couple of commercials, landed a couple of roles on One Tree Hill, and Entourage. Even got to play with some of my favorite teams in the league in the movies like The Game Plan with The Rock and R. We There Yet with Ice Cube. I love that. But while I was doing that, I missed the game. I missed the camaraderie. I missed the competition. So I came back and played another 4 years in the NFL after that. I went into coaching for a little bit and eventually ended up transitioning into the podcasting space. But everything that I've done professionally since I've retired from football has been fueled by my passion. I chose to do the things that I love and that aligned with my values. And that's really what I recommend to everybody else. If you're trying to figure out what your purpose or mission in life is, do the things you love. Do the things you're passionate about. Find the things that light your fire and go after them. It's interesting that you mentioned chasing your passion because in your book, The Mask You Live In, you talk about the importance of authenticity and living true to yourself. Can you elaborate on that a bit and maybe share an example of a time when you had to remove a mask and become your authentic self? Absolutely. So the idea behind The Mask You Live In is that we all wear different masks throughout our lives based on the expectations of others. For example, when I was playing football, I had to put on a tough guy mask because that's what people expected of me. They expected me to be strong and fearless and not show any weakness. And if I didn't put on that mask, I wasn't seen as a good football player. Similarly, when I was acting, I had to put on a different mask in order to play the characters that I was asked to play. And I think that this is something that we all do to some extent. We all shapeshift based on the expectations of others. However, I realized at some point that in order for me to be truly happy and fulfilled, I needed to start living authentically and to start being myself. It took me a while to realize that, but once I did, it was a huge turning point in my life. An example of a time when I had to remove a mask and become my authentic self was when I decided to leave the NFL and pursue a career in acting. At the time, this was a huge risk, and people didn't understand why I would give up a successful career in football to go and try to become an actor. But I knew that this was the right decision for me because it allowed me to be more true to myself. And although it was scary to leave the only thing I'd ever known in order to pursue my dream, I knew that it was worth it. And ultimately, I'm grateful that I took that leap of faith and followed my heart. Speaking of following your heart, you have a unique platform that allows you to interview a wide range of individuals, from actors to athletes to entrepreneurs. So the question is, what sparked this idea and how has it evolved over time? So I started the podcast because I wanted to continue learning and growing as a person. I realized that some of my favorite memories growing up were listening to my dad's cassette tapes of his interviews with the biggest names in the motivational speaking industry. And so I wanted to create a similar type of content that would inspire and uplift others. At first, I interviewed people from my past, like coaches and teammates. And then I slowly started reaching out to other professionals in my network and began interviewing them. Over time, the podcast grew in popularity, and I was able to interview people from all walks of life. It's been amazing to connect with so many interesting and inspiring individuals through the podcast. And I've learned so much from each and every one of them. My team does an incredible job of booking guests and producing the show, so they deserve a lot of credit for the success of the podcast. The podcast has also helped me grow personally and professionally. It's given me the opportunity to meet new people, learn about different industries and perspectives, and it's pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I remember the first time I interviewed Quincy Jones. I was so nervous. Here I was, sitting across from one of the most successful music producers of all time, and I was worried that I would mess up the interview. But Quincy put me at ease and gave me some great advice, which I'll never forget. He told me to be curious and to ask questions that I was genuinely interested in, and that's what I've tried to do with all of my interviews since then. I want to be curious. I want to be authentic. And I want to have conversations that are meaningful to me and hopefully to my listeners as well. Being so close with your father and using his cassette tapes as a source of inspiration. What advice would you give to younger folks about maintaining strong family bonds? Well, I think that it's important to make time for the people who matter most in life. For me, that's my family. Even when I was playing football and traveling around the country, I always made sure to call my mom and dad and share my experiences with them. I think that it's important to keep families close, to stay connected, and to make time for the people who matter most. I've been fortunate to have such a strong support system in my family, and I know that it's not something that everyone has. But I think that it's important to nurture the relationships that you do have, and to make sure that your loved ones know how much you appreciate them. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day hustle and bustle of life and to let work or other commitments take over. But I think that it's important to make a conscious effort to stay connected to your family. Set aside time to call your parents or siblings, to plan family meals, or to simply enjoy each other's company. These are the moments that matter most, and they're the things that you'll cherish most in the end. Last but certainly not least, what does greatness mean to you? Well, I think that greatness is a combination of achieving excellence in your field while also making a positive impact on the world. To me, it's not enough to just be successful for success' sake. I think that it's important to use your success to help others and to make the world a better place. I've been fortunate to interview many great people throughout my career, And I've learned that greatness is not defined by external factors such as fame or fortune. Rather, it's defined by the character and integrity of the individual. A truly great person is someone who is driven by a strong sense of purpose, who is passionate about their work, and who strives to make a positive impact on the world around them. It's not about the size of your bank account or the number of trophies you have on your shelf. It's about the kind of person you are and the difference you make in the lives of others. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Rise Again. We hope that you enjoyed hearing Lewis's story and that you found his advice and insights to be valuable. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so that you never miss an episode. And we'll see you next time.